elect, and my thanks and appreciation to the staff and management of Max FM for affording me the opportunity to serve as a guest host on their platform. And we anticipate the chairperson of Team Andy within few minutes from now, because on my way coming out of the studio, I placed a call to him, and then he said just within a second, just within a few minutes, he will be here. So we hope and pray that he'll be here in time.
And that is what I'm praying for because we are actually running out of time. Seriously, but how be so how is Fuka by the way?
We are okay. We are doing the piece of job that we choose to do, to be in the media, to see how best we can contribute to the growth and development of the media landscape of our country, by extension, West Africa and the globe. So we are privileged to be in the media field. That is where we find ourselves at the moment. So we will be having the chairperson of Team Andy, and we're gonna be asking all of the questions, all of the necessary questions as it relates to Team Andy within this number 13, whether they are going to contest the election or they are not going to contest the election. If they are going to contest the election, what are those work they have done? That is well sufficient to convince the minds of the people within this number 13 to elect Mr. Andy Gobe Jala as the next representative. So those of you who in Radio Lens following us via MAXX FM 96.5, please do not get us wrong here. We are here to quiz the chairperson of Team Andy, and maybe subsequently we will have the political leader of Team Andy in your studio.
And that would be so appreciated if that happens. So his name is Mohammed Vikanen, guest presenter here on Focal TV. We are doing it together as we anticipate the arrival of the powerful, intellectual young chairperson in Mr. Henry Gazi Bonsky. So this is the program, The Stage, right on Mars Rhythm, broadcasting live for Ghana. This is Michael Johnson. My name is Sarah. We are here as we anticipate our guests will go over this briefer to be back once again. talk about as we still anticipate the arrival of the chairman of Team Andy. I like to flip to Mohammed. So Mohammed, I want to ask, how is the BTR process in the district? As a reporter, are you following the process?
Yes, we are following the process as a media institution within the country. We are following the process from the first day. We start following the process and up to present. We are still following the process. There are a few things that for me I see as an obstacle to other people. Not really an obstacle, but then that is something that will get a lot of people not having their voter registration card.
What are those?
You look at the issue of the system. If you have like the machine go off, maybe they run out of current, and then they take 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Like I was in battery factory at the Morkebe Academy, so I was there. I witnessed their equipment they're running out of current, so they went 2, 3, 4, 5 hours no current. So at the end of the day, those that were waiting to get registered, they end up leaving the center because they could not wait. They could not already bear all of the patients that they needs to bear. So as a result, some of them left. And those people who left, probably they did not come back the next day. Maybe they say, "Oh, tomorrow or the after tomorrow, I'm going to come back." And owing to the fact that we have amended from the National Election Commission that
There will be no extension.
exactly so there will be no extension. And then there is another thing too. I also observe concerning the ongoing BVR processes with the issue of let nobody get me wrong that to say oh, because I'm from a religious or tribal background. But then I saw something like a serious religious intolerance toward the Muslims, most especially the females, because
Concerning what the hijab.
exactly so they are hijab. You don't just tell them to take the hijab off. Most especially you are not their husband, so you don't just tell them easily that you have to take the hijab off. Even if you go to Saudi Arabia today, or even if you go to Libya, there are people who serve in government, strategic positions in government. That would of course some of them are females. They are serving strategic position in government, which of course they are females. They goes to do their adhikar. You don't just tell them take off their hijab. I think what the guys there at the center there should be doing is to tell the guys, to tell those females, can you pull the hijab at the back of your ears so that the people can get you clear? But then they are not doing that, but they are rather telling them to take the entire hijab off, and that would of course I see that as a
Yeah, but
serious.
probably it is a mandate from the authority of the National Election Commission. But that, like you said, you're right. That is needed to be worked on. Yeah, yes, you're right.
How I think that should be another that is a whole wide debate that would of course should be something for another day. Yeah, so I think because if we are to dwell on that, to talk about that, we will not really leave from here right now. So I think that is another debate for another time. I think that is another debate that we should come up with concerning another time that we
Yeah,
should come up with
yeah,
on
it's a
this
very
platform.
serious debate. Definitely, we
Yeah.
are going to do that.
Yeah.
So, folks, it is exactly 2:30. The chairman just arrived in our studio.
The channel has already taken 10 minutes off the time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So,
I don't know, was it something like militancy? Is there whether they are militants or bringing them like a case of district number 10 where you have the
yeah.
CCU chair where going just to go to register you have a bunch of militants behind it. So it seems to be like militants were
Yeah, definitely the time is down. I think so. Folks, Alex Johnson, now we have just received the chairperson of Team Annie, district number 13, Washington County. He started with us. By the way, tell me, I'd like to say welcome.
Thank you.
Myself on the stage, first time.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure coming in the midst of a studio. The reason is that we feel pressed, especially
I
for
want
us
to
at
do that. Just
the
my chairman, speak to the mic. Yeah.
we
objective.
Okay.
I don't put it back on the. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you so much. And like I said, it's always a pleasure being in the studio. And for us as at Team Envy, we feel priced to always inform the public on the buildings, not just within our team, but other concerns around the district and at large. So I want to say sorry to many listeners for turning up very late, and I'll hook up with some other engagements for the day. But according to my technician, you can say technical outage. So,
Yes.
so I got hooked up. But it's good to be here. It's good to be here.
And good to see you saying you returned from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So how is life and everything, by the way?
Well, life is going good, and the trip to Nigeria was intended for the young people of Liberia, and I can see within the nutshell that generally it was successful.
So I will just lay out the basis after which Mommy will come in, then we do the questioning interchangeably.
Okay, I look forward to that. You know, it's always exciting.
Are you here as the chairman of the foundation of the ND and that of the political movement?
Well, anytime I sit in studio, should I say a tripartite leader? Because I'm here in the capacity as the executive director of the Andy Bobler Jada Foundation, the chairman of the movement, Team ND, and the executive director of Foca Online TV. So it's a tripartite leadership.
Oh, man, why one with that? Everybody three top positions.
We had this thing going Team Andy where once you are the chairperson of the team, automatically you covers up the three areas that I just listed. So even the person coming after me will occupy seat, and then the other person. So it's just like a routine. It's something that is already established.
And you, the what chairman, what is your position? Are you the third chairperson of the ND? Are you guys working on 10 new positions?
Yeah, of course. This movement started in 2018, at which time the first chairman was Mr. Emmanuel Bro. He's the founding chairperson of this movement. And then fast forward up to 2019, the end of 2019, the second chairman, due to some other engagements in terms of family matter and attending to other issues relevant enough to his new professional life, he decided to draw down the curtains on the movement. At which time, his name is, as a matter of fact, his name is Emmanuel Zor. Emmanuel Zor, he resides in the Banking Factory region. And then late in 2020, I was voted through most of the executive leadership because to be a chairperson, you got to, go through the ranks and files, our ethics. So during the time of Emmanuel Zor, by the way, I was just an executive secretary. And then after his resignation, my comrades saw it very necessary that I rose to the rank of the chairperson. So I was unanimously voted in that election, which placed me in the position I'm currently in. Albeit very soon, I know that there will be another person coming after me. It's a routine.
It's a routine. It has been a while. You have not had any radio interview. It is that you were putting all of your political bazookas together and come out very hard.
Well, one could say you were putting together your political bazooka. But I think for me, I see it very professional that we give other people the opportunities as much as I'm the chairperson, but we have other standout leaders who, like me, can also deliver as per our terms. So yes, indeed, I've not really been so frequent with the press lately, but over the time we have had the special aide, we have had the public relations officer, we have had series of other executive members. Like recently, we had our own personal indoor staff, the likes of the chief of office staff, Amos Kamba, the finance officer, Molly Pei, and that of the administrative secretary, all appearing to give their voice in channel the good work of the team over the past period. So while it is true I remain a standout voice, but in a participatory leadership style, it's always good to give your colleagues the opportunity too, so that their style of leadership can be shared to the public. So my involvement behind the stage it's a signal that other people, other young leaders, should be given the opportunity.
So let me comment. Mr. Chairman, you spoke of being overwhelmingly elected by the executive committee of Team Andy. So how is Team Andy structure?
Well, Team Andy has a very unique leadership structure. We have two distinct groups, that is two distinct chapters. We have the executive leadership of Liberia, spearheaded by the chairperson, and we have the diaspora leadership, spearheaded by a coordinator. So these are two standout executive leaderships that work coincide to ensure that some programmatic stances on issues surrounding implementation and programs of the team are well executed. So the diaspora chairperson primary responsibility is to lobby as much as he do with other colleagues and other supportive partners and donors to be able to push most of our work down here in Liberia. And our executive leadership here is to galvanize support by mobilizing the public, as well as ensuring that most of what we do are done properly with transparency, accountability, and with a modes of innovation. So these two committees complementary work together to ensure that we have most of our activities implemented in grand style.
As one of the political institutions within the district, and there has been a lot of issues within our district. That would, of course, we haven't heard from Team Andy. What do you really have to say about that? About Team Andy being silent on national issues, even issues bordering around the security of our district. What do you have to say about
Well,
that?
when you say national issues, they become a concern
Well,
because
people are also looking up to you for national leadership.
yeah, I mean, when you say national issues, they become a concern because
How is it?
the last time at church, Timani came up with a press release.
80 precise.
Yeah, this is why I'm trying to hit the nail on the head, but it is really good that you gave me all of the audience needed, and definitely.
No, we do. We will
sure.
do that.
So the thing is that lately we came up with a press statement, and we found generally at the involvement of the Liberia National Students Union, but not seeing much in terms of pushing the government to support the student movement. It was a press release lately, it came out. And more to that, we also came up with a security check statement after we overheard that some controversies surrounding the security of District 13 was tampered with quite recently. So as much as we are not engaging the price with sending our voice out, we are also trying to use so many mediums to send out positive messages to the public.
What are those?
Like I said just now, we normally do press releases. Sometimes we visit Foca Online TV. We have our own internal TV platform where we also use to send out messages to the public. We use the social media. We have different group pages. We also use all of these mediums just to ensure that we have the public synthesized on issues that matters most.
Now, let's move because time is out of our friend. Just tell us, in any 40 years, what have you been doing in district of 13?
Well, one could say Team Andy is undisputedly the powerhouse of the district. And when I say so, what am I trying to drive at? Team Andy over the years has spearheaded a series of programs successfully. Just to name a few, we have spearheaded the District Number 13 Financial Aid Program that we started since 2019. It was officially launched in 2020. It is a program where every year Team Andy spend up to 250 to 500,000 Liberian dollar towards helping parents send their kids to school. 50 students are recruited for semester 1 and additional 50 students are recruited for semester 2. And we have this press scheme where we do 5,000 across the board because, mind you, there's a difference between a financial aid and a scholarship. So usually we do that in the form of financial aid, that is aiding those who are the disadvantaged. We have also carried on the district number 13 inter-high school quizzing competition.
But tell me, I want to do it one at a time. You said the financial aid, the scholarship stuff.
Yeah.
So my concern is how one is eligible to be a part of national aid and dollar scholarship. What are the truant cards place for those?
So normally we do our recruitment sectorally. Sectorally in that we have divided the district into four distinct zones under the structure of Kinandi. We have zone 1, which is zone A, zone B, zone C, and zone D. That is zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. So zone 1 begins from the R&R community where the district starts from to the Stockton Creek. So our primary motive is to recruit at least 10 to 15 persons just within that belt. And then zone 2 starts just as you cross the Stockton Creek Bridge to that of the Topo Village community. So all of the communities within that belt falls under zone 2. So again, we try our possible best to recruit again another 10 to 15 persons within that belt. And then zone 3 extends from the Iron Factory community as far as the JJY community. So the Chocolate City, the Blackie Island, all other communities within that belt falls under zone 3. So again, we try our possible best through our zonal coordinators to recruit at least 10 to 15 persons. And then the rest of the other side, that is from New Jersey Junction, further in the estate and beyond as far as the Gulf, falls under zone number 4. So what we do, we send out the information not just on our group pages or sending out publicity by means of card, because what we usually do, we have sets, the normal way of doing publicity in Nigeria where you have set on a pickup or a car, and then you have somebody sending out the message to the people that we always do on all of our programs. So aside that, we also use the capacity of our zonal coordinators. Our zonal coordinators, they are responsible for all other activities within their belt. So we give the information to them to work along with potential community leadership and lead organization from within that cycle. So the information reach out to them in as much as you live in district number 13, in as much as you have a clean record. When we say clean record, void of some inferiority complex in terms of criminality, in terms of drug, in as much as you are clean from this kind of a record, we see you as a prospect. So once you are within that particular cycle and your name is brought forth to us, obviously that child or that parent will actually be vetted and tuition are paid directly to institutions and not through parents. So what I'm telling you, statistically, we have all of our records from the time of the program to now. So we could share that record with you. We can share it by means of either email or we could give you a hard copy.
Is that extended to university or only high school?
For now, we decided to deal with primary and secondary schools. Tertiary, we are actually contemplating on how we could look into that direction. We have already started by means of our valedictorian program, the first of its kind, the district number 13 valedictorian program, where last year, group of valedictorians from all of the 17 high schools that did attended to our call to have this program staged, went through an official evaluation criteria. And at the end of the day, 3 persons came up as victors. The first person came from the Sheikh Ibrahim Sharif, that is the valedictorian one, Mariam Keita. The second person came from the St. Michael Kelly High School. Aside them being given an official recognition certificate, the foundation is responsible to give $500 to each of them across the board. And that cost cut a fully funded scholarship to any university of their choice. So as we speak now, both Maxine and Keita, that is the Deuce 1 and Deuce 2, they are currently at Monopatin, studying biology and chemistry. Their full first semester tuition was cleared by the foundation. Again, I can say we proudly pay our monies directly to institutions so that there could be some form of transparency. Receipts should be kept.
Would that be a continuous process?
Of course, it's recurrent. If you talk about an institution in district number 13 that have such values, that do things with tangibles, I think the reflection is directly on Team Andy, because most of what we do, like for example, I just wanted to list a couple of programs and then take my time to go through them, but then you said you want us to do it one at a time, which I appreciate. So we started this Kids Online and Broadcasting Program, a partnership with Live Initiative sometime last year, and that was the first phase. And we also phase two, that is the program. Now we are into its second year. We did the district number 13 inter high school quizzing competition sometime last year. And this year we are trying to list with the Labrador Institute of Knowledge and Excellence, where we have met with the executive director, Councillor Phil Dixon, and the Corps of Officers. And we have decided to have a turning tide. We want to make this second edition very colorful. So as much as we remain the all forceful sponsor for that particular event, we need people who are technically gifted in said area to occupy lead position, which is why we encourage said partnership with Liz. So they will be coming in to spearhead the second edition. It is recurring too. And the district valedictorian program, we have already started dealing with the first cohort of valedictorians that are currently ongoing our ambassador program. That is the Andy Jala ambassador program of district number 13. And it is also a recurring program. So most of what we do, we tailor it to long-term achievements. We don't just see the traditional politicking of activities that occur in our contemporary society, where people get involved into something just on a short-term basis. And then after a while, once they have achieved or fall short of what they want to achieve, then the entire thing go close down. That is not the philosophy of humanity.
Mr. Chairman, let me come in a little bit. You seem to be more energized in terms of sending the message.
Like always.
Yeah, so if we just sit at the back and then give you the time, you're gonna run the entire show. Because you guys who are the politicians, you guys know all of the strategies to see how best to convince the minds of the people out there. So Mr. Chairman, you spoke of financial aid, ambassadorial program, and then meeting with Councillor Phil Dixon in terms of conducting the question competition. Where is the funding coming from? Because someone out there wants to know how you guys getting all of the money to see how best doing all of this initiative, and then because it is a 2-in-1, and then you spoke of all of the other things, and you have not made mention of the disabled community. How have your work really affect what has been the trickle-down effect? How the disabled community really feel the impact of Timandi?
Okay, thank you so much. These are two salient questions, and I much appreciate you for, in fact, taking my mind. When you have an elaborative kind
Mr.
of
Chairman, you're not going to ask
sometimes you even have a little slate on what have been some of your achievements. So for the issue about the soliciting of funds, like I told you, we have two distinct chapters, right? Chapter 1 is the chapter from Liberia that spearhead the immediate activities of the team in terms of how our programs are implemented down here. And chapter 2 is responsible for galvanizing support in terms of funds and potential partnership from other organizations that sees our work to be very enterprising for the kind of a society that we find ourselves in. So mostly our diaspora chapter, spearheaded by Ambassador Adolphus Momo, they are responsible to work in line with other Liberians in the diaspora who have shared vision of bettering the motherland, to try to explain to them what the breakdown of some of our activities look like, and how their involvement can help improve it every space along the line. So 80% of our support comes from our political leader, that's a fact. He comes from Honorable Andy Jalai. He's a professional young man. He's a cybersecurity associate. He worked with ExxonMobil in the U.S., where he served as a resident supervisor. So, he diverted most of what he earned, the hard-earned resources, towards most of these humanitarian programs.
Mr. Chairman, moving forward, do we anticipate him only turning into a national political institution within our
Well, before we come there, I think it will be very good for the public. Definitely, it will be good for the public that satisfy them by answering each and every bit of the question. So that is the issue about that is the point I guess raised concerning the governance.
No, but that is just a yes or no question.
No, I will get there.
That is just a yes or no question.
I will definitely get there. Now, question two. Disabled community. Question 2. Let's take time to get involved with the
We are
conversation.
working within time.
Exactly so. You have already even 10 minutes.
Definitely. I mean, I will appeal for at least 115 minutes.
Yeah, then you have to meet the business office.
Just 115 minutes. So for the second question of the disabled community, over the time we have been partnering with this organization called the Sister of Lights. The Sister of Light is another body of young ladies who also see themselves in those who are blind, those who are crippled, those who are deaf. So quite recently, we did some distribution of assorted materials in terms of copybooks, in terms of sanitary products to 2 or 3 recognized disabled institutions within our district. The Deaf and Dumb Institute in Chocolate City, we distributed a couple of materials to them. It is also visible on Foca Online TV. When you visit there, definitely you will see the short event, how it was carried live. We also visited some time ago a orphanage home somewhere in New Jersey, famous island. Some time ago, we visited them and also distributed some other assorted materials to them. And we haven't really, tried to put in our services just within the confines of a specific region within the district. So we have also reached out to schools that have had students who are disabled and they have also benefited from our case. Like we had the Career Day program some time ago, and at which time the political leader was still in the country, that is the vision bearer. And a lot of things were distributed. And it went cross-cut. All of the students, no matter your ability, your disability, you have a fair share of that divide. So most of our programs are tailored generally to the public.
So respond to the third question they are coming.
So yeah.
What do we anticipate Tim Andy turning into a political institution within our country?
Well, when you try to follow the central team of Tim Andy, as much as we call ourselves bringing innovation to leadership, we are also potentially aware that young people should be given the opportunity at the national level for their voice to be heard. So I can tell you, no time is better than now. Of course, we are anticipating that. We are trying our possible best to inform the young people, to
Who's going to
promote
be the
them
senator?
in different
Who's going to be a political leader? So
When I tell you, I should
at that particular time, it's a requirement of so many things. So at that particular time,
I'd like to say good afternoon, welcome. This is the program, the stage right where in conversation with a very young intellectual chairman of the NA. His name is Andy Jala. Now to my next
Henry Gazi Bromsky. Andy Jala is the political leader of Kimani.
Henry Gazi, so now, start quietly listening to you. You are very relaxed speaking. Now, from my reading, all their workings is strictly educational. That is the Veritas human capacity building in terms of health and the others activity. What have been your workings? That is point number 1. Number 2. What are your challenges? Because you sound so confident that everything is rosary.
Okay, thank you, Presenter Boy. I mean, it's no doubt that the stage is one of a very good platform to be because I can get the feedback from the questions flowing in. Okay, in terms of health, this movement have started thinking about how we could actually find a land to build the district number 13 urgent care.
Mr. Chairman, I think Hara is not talking about projection because it seems to be like where you're coming from.
I want to give it into phases.
You're speaking of future tense.
No, I want to give it into phases.
I don't know what have you done.
Exactly.
Definitely, I want to give it into phases, right? Because currently we are carrying on an infrastructure project, and when we're talking about some health thing, it is also related to it. But to speak directly to your question, which I think is key, in 2018. 2018-2019, when we started this, when the world started to experience this global pandemic, Team Andy was at the forefront in terms of how they support all of the communities, if not all, but most of the communities, to be very resilient because we all know how violent this COVID-19 was. So we gave out, materials in terms of buckets. We gave out other other logistical items like soap, like cholera, and few other basic items that communities needed to fight. So if you ask me how is one point that we actually try to extend our assistance to health and other related issues. And then I also just talk about the outreach to people who don't have the ability to actually fend for themselves. And most of what I talk about is also health related. So that is another way to Team Andy has responded to health related actions. And then internally, when I say internally means that we have identified strategic fast projects like the water and sewer, providing water for communities that are not too okay for slums areas. Like the running water from the water and sewer. We have already started working with the Togo Village community.
So you have that done and you are starting to do it now.
Well, as much as no. If we say we have started, then no. The thing is, there are phases of. You agree with me that you agree with me, right? You will agree with me that in project management there are phases of implementation.
Sure.
As much as you have started the stakeholder engagement, it means that you have started.
Okay, so I want to say that.
So it definitely means that the phases along the way have started. So it means you are definitely going towards.
You are starting, but you don't do it to say you might have a project. You have that.
Oh well, the project is ongoing. So as much as it's ongoing, it can be related to
your challenges. Then
but there are so many challenges in Liberia. The first is that we are in a country where mostly we have more people who are less educated than fully educated. So the issue about explaining to them some of these innovations, sometimes it become a problem because sometimes you're telling somebody that okay, we all know that one way or another we are all intertwined with a lot of challenges in our daily life. We all want certain things to happen all at the same time, but it cannot work like that. So as much as we are just trying to give your kid, something small so that he can go to school. And then that parent will come out and say, but you want me to be part of your team, then you telling me, say, you only pay my child tuition, why about me eating every day? So in terms of mobilization, the tradition of understanding innovation and the difference between what are some of those tangibles, what are some of those solid foundations, what are some of those concrete things they think doing that will create long-term plan for them rather than just a short-term reflection they want to see is one of the huge challenge that we are faced with. It's a huge challenge. Trying to play with their minds so that they can be able to understand the difference between projects that are of long term and projects that are of short term. So that's one. Two, one of the challenges we are faced with is the issue about extensive outreach. Extensive outreach in that as much as we are reaching out to other areas, but Tinali as a foundation will not carry out, will not do everything 100%. There are some communities you go to, even before reaching to there are so many pit holes. Some areas they are already flooded, water, and then you have to pass through. So to reach to some of the areas and then try to channel your messages, because for free, I can tell you, 2023 Team Andy, we have been into a lot of backstage conversation, and the executive just concluded a couple of days ago that we are not participating in this election.
Okay, I'll get it.
Oh, yeah.
So probably repeat that. Just be clear because I was able to talk to one or two persons, and the person said are supporting.
Of course, I will.
So I want to be clear.
I repeat the statement.
In the simplest term.
Okay, this is the simplest thing. The simple way I can put it, in fact, turning me into Kulukwase.
Sure.
So most of the people there who in our group who can meet and talk how we can come up with some of the planning. We already finished talking sometime a few days ago, and we agree now that because of most of the things that we wanted to do in certain time, and we are not achieve all of them, and we still see ourselves to be behind plenty. So we have agreed now that the particular 2023 election, we will not be part of it.
I'm a scared tactic.
What we say is a scared tactics.
Yeah. But you're going to do business with people who are going to contest them.
But a scared tactic, wow.
I don't think so. There is an adage that says, he who fails to prepare is prepared to fail, and intelligent will find comfort in the labor.
But you are already
At Team Andy, there is no way we get involved with something that has a lot of attachment with failure.
But the
So
reasons,
our number one priority is to have a structure that will definitely serve as the gateway to whatever that we are getting involved with. So what I'm telling you, a cross-cut. We have four distinct pillars. We have pillars on education, we have pillars on infrastructure, we have pillars on recreation, and we have pillars on empowerment.
have you implemented all of those four pillars?
Definitely.
Then
This is why
why you don't want to go into the process?
this is why to a greater extent when we place all of these pillars on our political microscope, and we decided to have some overview of the 38 communities within the perimeters of district number 13. We found that around 45 to 50% have directly benefited from the different successes of the team over the past period. But then one could ask, what become of the other 50%? So, I mean, to get involved with something means having some calculations, having some systematic approach, having an environment that will be amicable and easily accessible to ascertain your marks.
So it's a fair
So,
decision.
I mean, it's a very fair decision based on our credible analysis.
In spiritual and politics, one of the things that I have done almost everything, there's a day I go to the rich.
So this is why we can say normally it is not just about us coming to be represented. It's not just about Annie Boblet Jala will be represented tomorrow. It is about how most of these projects and programs can serve for the common good of majority of the people. So, you know, one time he told me, we were talking, he said, Chairman, I said, and he said, I don't know why people have this tendency that Annie Boblet Jala is just so much attached to politics. But this is what I want to tell you today, right? It is not about the amount of positions that Annie Boblet Jala will serve in during my time here on earth. It is about the amount of lives that I will touch and the legacy that will leave after me. So for us, we don't just believe in getting towards getting involved in a political process only because we want to make Annie Boblet Jala.
It's a big pronouncement you have just made on the air.
Of course, and subsequently there's a press release.
All political actors might come after you in terms of support base. Are you prepared to support any of those presumptive aspirant who be candidates in 2023?
Now, at our team, we come up with institutional decisions based on dividends. So I can tell you now that we are having a lot of backstage conversation. I mean, there are some of them that have already started reaching out to us because, I may have a healthy executive body of around 20 to 25 persons, but each of those in that particular group attached to somebody else. So there, just after our indoor conversation, the news went out wide that the chairman and in our indoor conversation, we have just agreed that we are not contesting. So by carrying that information by means of waves, other political aspirants came in contact with them, and they definitely decided to seize the opportunity.
As they reach your office,
So they have started reaching out, but like I said, we come up with institutional decisions. So that cannot be relying on the chairman's voice. It has to be institutionally debated upon, and then I, as the head of the organization, will come up with and voted for.
What Marvin can see is the CEO following? Is the CEO following? Chairman?
Of course.
Let me come. You know, the chairman has broken news in the district. And you know, for the past 3-4 years, people have been looking up to Andy to provide national leadership for district number 13. But how be it, the decision has been made already. So Chairman, I'm in a hardcore chat room as it relates to Team Andy. There is this that you are in the path of putting your weight behind one of the representative aspirants in district number 13. And that, of course, is not really hidden that there are people from other political institutions within within other camp within the district, within district number 13 that has reached out to us as a media institution that Team Andy is supporting. Team Andy will support Cornelia Kratova or Princess Gediwo Kennedy. And there is this weak rule that between that of Cornelia Kratoka, and there are people within the team. They want the team to support the current lawmaker, Representative Ella Papi Flomo. And there is another faction within the team because we are in a hardcore chat room where we get some of these screenshots that there are people within the team. They want the team to support Cornelia, and there is another faction that also wants the team to support Representative Ella Papi Flomo. So you as a chairperson, how do you rather respond to this information in the public?
So thank you so much. Like I said, as much as we are a team, and then we try our possible best to narrow most of what we do towards the systematic understanding of almost everyone. That is, we come up with a quorum in meetings. We bring forth ideas that actually needs to be looked at. We go by means of vote on what needs to be accepted and what needs to be rejected, and a lot of other processes before we come up with one voice in the name of this is the position of Team Andy. So I can tell you for free that we have not reached there yet, and we actually look forward to some of these conversations because they are all healthy political conversations. We are also talking about how internally we can have most of the aspirants vetted through the means of Foca Online TV by inviting them into
Mr. Chairman, why in case key people or maybe people within the executive committee of your team decide to support Cornelia Kratoka, what would be your response?
So I was just about to end on that, and then
because
it is directly related to the question that you just asked. So as much as like I said that we had to look at some of these things from a higher level before we come up with one decision, we also gave the independence to our executive membership and our member base because it is their franchise. It is their vote. It is their right.
So for your
that's
response,
because Andy is not. I mean, Andy is not contesting. Means that most of our members shouldn't vote. No.
So it seems to be like from your response, you are going to come out with an independent statement that you're not going to be on both sides.
No, I mean that is subject to our press release. Subject to our press release, and the press release is subject to the internal voice of the team, predicated from our section. So I think we can have.
It's cool. We are not reached that like the chairman said.
Definitely.
There is the internal discussion.
Definitely.
However, before you come in, let me just ask the chairman this question. Mr. Chairman, you spoke of the Team Andy having a diaspora chapter. Who are those players? Because there is this thing people complain of that when you are not close to the political leader, you don't have certain privilege or right to have an interaction with him. So, who are those players that are around Honorable Andy Jala?
So, the diaspora leadership.
Not only the diaspora, but Team Andy in general.
So, the diaspora leadership firstly, and that was the first question, is spearheaded, like I said, by Dorcas Momo. And we have series of other team players in the diaspora. We have Rosetta Stewart. We have this Darling Webb, which is also one of our biggest supporters, Geraldine Ogunti Jala. We have Eric Cross. Today is Eric Cross' birthday. He's one of our partners. We have Charles Menza. We have Henry Jim. We have series of other young people who are thinking in the way of the team. So a lot of them, I mean, in as much as they are all in one unit, they are easily accessible to him. I mean, want to say. And then for the issue about accessibility on who talked to Andy Jala, I mean, we have two of the biggest platforms in the district on Messenger. And one of the very active participants in our chat room is Honorable Andy Jala. He responds to almost everything that people say politically, not even just politics, but in sports as well. So if you be that accessible and people still say they highly reach out to him, I mean that particular statement is politically motivated. I think it is politically motivated because all sounds are pointing to the fact that he is easily accessible.
No, but responding to a chat room conversation is quite different from responding to individual conversation.
Oh well, we had this hub of information dissemination, and most times people come to the office and they say they bring letter for Honorable Andy Jala, and at Team Andy, the office of the political leader is a separate office. Though it's an office that, when it comes to decision making, it is stand out. It's one of the stand out offices that you find within the team. So if that letter comes to the office of the political leader, it means that the chairman can read through, but I'm not capacitated. Sorry, I'm not capacitated enough at that level. When I'm talking about capacitated enough, I mean I'm not fully with the conclusion that the particular letter for the office of the political leader I'm going to represent him. No. The office of the political leader has a special aid. The special aid divert and go through all of the letters that comes to the office. So he or she is responsible to serve as an asset who respond to a letter coming from the office of the political leader. So one means of reaching close to Tim Andy and having a conversation with him is following the communication channel of Tim Andy. If you send a letter to the office of the political leader, it goes through the office of the political leader. If you want Tim Andy under its leadership to see reason in attending to whatever you present to the team, it comes through the office of the chairperson. So there are different means of communication we have within Tim Andy.
It comes through.
If you also, I can't begin with the last one. If you also want to see a direct communication by means of voice call, we have a free office line. 0770 13 13 15. 0770 13 13 16. These are numbers that you call directly to the receptionist desk of our team.
Howard, before you come in, let me just interject a point here. Mr. Chairman, how do you rather relate this to an old lady who is selling coal in the market?
That want to talk to Timani?
I'm coming, Mr. Chairman. You guys are the politicians. You guys have all of the jargons, all of the tricks, all of the strategies to convince people out there about this place. We control the microphone here. So, Mr. Chairman, how do you rather relate this to an old lady who is selling in the market and a man who is selling shoes, who does not have an Android phone, who doesn't even have a cell phone at all? To channel his communication to Tim Andy. How do you rather relate this to all of the bureaucracy you just put out here?
So the thing is that you will agree with me if I would tell you that to a greater extent, the branding of oneself is a means of having that particular commodity promoted. Why am I saying so? There's nothing so cheap that is respected. There is nothing so cheap that is respected. So one could bring yourself into certain areas so as to create some level of promote in other ways. So like I said, we have this one old lady in the market or one old man who is a shoe shine man or some kind of a car loader who want to talk to Andy Jala. The easier means is that within whatever zone you find yourself, there is a coordinator, set of leadership that work along with everybody within that bill. Whatever you want to send to the means of the team, you engage that coordinator, and that particular communication will be channeled to the team. And if there's a need, the voice of Andy Jala in Nigeria is under Slavi Lincoln. So definitely he's going to feature. So if you want to hear from Andy Jala, when you hear from Honorable Slavi Lincoln, who is the special aide of Honorable Andy Jala, it definitely means you are hearing his voice. Because everything he says is in direct consultation with the political leader. So it's just like you want to hear from the office of the chairperson and then you hear him from Amos Tama. Amos Tama is the chief of officer of my office. So as much as he speaks, it definitely reflects that I'm speaking.
Yeah, so Chairman, we are actually working with Tama, right? So I'm interested in the aspect of the consultation, who to support. And you said you gotta stay hearing all of the both sides, and I hope it will not be on the basis of financial inducement. When that is the case, we'll follow it, it will reflect it. So I hope. So now let's move forward.
So no, I mean, is that a wrap of almost like are you trying to intimidate the entire team or are you trying to put in some form of fear? It's on the basic.
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Tobo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Key, Focal.
Most of how they are playing is in alignment with what we have been doing.
Okay.
Definitely, we found somebody who more suitable. Who knows? I mean, the institution will come over voice. I'm not saying there will be, but there's a possibility exists.
So the day will do that.
It will or it will not.
The day will do a pronouncement.
It will or it will not. Of course. I mean, we love MAXX.
So let's go to the next point. Of recent, you were in Nigeria and you attended the ECOWAS Youth Summit. I want you to tell us more about this. How one becomes a dedicated and why were you being there? What fruits it brought to the young people of this country and much more. Then we'll announce the number of go to the lunch.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me just do a little correction. I didn't attend the ECOWAS Youth Summit. The ECOWAS Youth Summit is sometime this year, sometime later this year in September. And I went under the canopy of the Annie Jada Foundation to have two key issues resolved. The first is that the ECOWAS Model Commissioner, that is the management agency of this ECOWAS Youth Summit, they closed the portal for applicants from all over the country, all over the regionally, all over the world. They closed the portal not to accept any delegates since October of last year. So we saw that most of the participants, would-be participants from Liberia, was not afforded a lot of opportunities to apply timely. So we went there under the foundation to strike on negotiation so that this portal can be reopened to have additional delegates from Liberia going through. So fortunately for us, after a period of consultation and some hard briefings, we managed to convince the ECOWAS Model Commissioner, and they have now reopened the portal. The portal is even reopened up to now. As we are talking, people have the opportunity through Team Andy to even apply, and it is possible that you can be accepted. So we managed to strike that, and we will be sending 6 persons, and these 6 persons will be in 2 different categories. Category number 1, the office will be sending 3 persons, as in the case of the RYDC last year in Accra, Ghana, where we sent 4 persons on the Annie Jada Foundation. Definitely, and it's a means of our empowerment strategies. And this year will also be fully taking control of 3 of our staffs. Fully, that is, we're going to buy their plane ticket, we're going to pay for their accommodation, their delegate fees, and all other liabilities associated to their trip. We're going to handle it while they are in Nigeria. So the remaining 3, we said to ourselves, we cannot just do things internally and leave out the public. So there should be some assistance rendered to a very young man out there who is very industrious and wants to grow himself in terms of leadership and diplomacy. So we will be giving additional 3 slots to the public on a 50-50 basis. That is a partial scholarship. While we are handling your delegation fees, while we are handling your accommodation, while we are ensuring that things will actually go smooth for you during your stay in Nigeria, we expect you to take care of your plane ticket. So it's a 50-50.
Are you taking 3 from District 13?
3 persons.
From 13?
All the communication was advertised some time ago, and we said from District 13, that was what we said. But guess what? It will even baffle you that most of the applicants that we have been receiving asking us to give them the opportunity to go from the district, they are not even from the district. So it means most of those from the district are not showing interest, most of those young people.
Probably the message is not going across.
Well, we send the message across by means of our platform. We have also been communicating through other means. At one point in time, we had a program on Focal Online TV where we were able to voice out the message even at a bigger level. And we are still open up to receiving inquiries because people calling and want to get information concerning how this program is organized. And we are still open through our telephone lines. So we have been trying. And lastly, because you said the success about my trip, and I just talked about one. So before I engage the second for you to open up the line, the second was to ensure that Liberia had a fair share of having that regional summit heard within Liberia during the next year. So it is a biannual event. They occur after every 2 years. They have not been heard in Liberia since its inception in 2015. So I had a meeting. I had a meeting with some high court officials from the Equa Model Commissioner, and tentatively they have accepted that the 2025 edition we are bidding with Cote d'Ivoire, that particular edition will be held in Liberia in 2025, the ECOWAS Youth Summit. So a lot of things are ongoing behind the scene. We are trying to make some lucrative plans. We are trying to reach out to other opinion leaders, other young leaders to come and work along with us because there is this tendency out there that Liberia is not up there yet. We have not reached a stage where we have the productive approach to have most of these programs, ad-driven programs, continentally heard within our cycle. So we want to break that stereotype. We want to inform the people that Liberian young men, Liberian young girls, they are up there, they are educated, they have all of the experiences, they can get themselves into an endeavor that is fruitful, and they can work with all their commitment and dedication to ensure that this particular country have a landmark achievement.
His name is Karen Gatti Boston. For those of you who've been following the show, you can call us now on these numbers. I think one will announce WhatsApp, right? You got a WhatsApp number, so we announce the local lines, right? So line number 1 is 0775 360 356. 0775 360 356. 0555 6790 0555 For those of you in Jesuit fighting, it has been official that any public data is now protesting Council October 10th, 2023. The guys said they are doing some consultation. So keep the calls coming in 0775 360 356 0555 6790 let me take this. Welcome. Good evening, welcome. Good afternoon, sir. Sorry. Good afternoon. What is your name and you call from where?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Yeah. I'm the professional officer from the city of Oslo, New Jersey.
Oh, it's the CEO Ali. Yes, you are live. I think you're getting me, right? Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thanks for hosting our dynamic chairman on our Friday Boston in your Ontario studio, along with our program on TV, Pastor Hamlet. Thanks to the family for this discussion. Yeah, I want to say thanks to the chairman for holding this impact, giving the country on chief of breath afternoon in our city of Olympia, where many people have visions for the past weeks. We're just listening to the registration we were starting. People have been calling, shooting in our office, calling, trying to hear, asking that the rest of the district we need to take our vote. And it starts by the devil is your professional one. So it is good enough that we have already been gathered there due to this and first and after that we have today. We have a conversation with our national leadership on the second that we were able to tell them that we is the point not only giving vote then 50% of our legislation that we give the people in 2020. We want to keep working and we do not want to take any chance to be on the ballot paper because getting the ballot paper is not just it's not just it is not those ways we think that we have the life to just to stay in the country. Like people we want to set the ballot paper because we want the ballot back. So
just set it down. Set it down.
So we understand our own position and we were able to come up with that concrete and solid conclusion that says that we're going to stay away from Alabama this year. We're going to keep working.
Yeah, but I got a question for you. See, I got some question for you.
To present the 5 years, the 5 years, we'll have another 4 years to go. So we are looking at a decade to work for the 5 years to a decade. So who knows what we think we need the argument today to share the news you need fully prepared. You need to be fully prepared because services leadership is what seven come with particular vision in competency. That's why I know of our leadership in the army. We just don't want people to just say that we look at everything, taking a willingness to in partner with our organization in engaging to approve the area to expand the growth in leadership.
So, Andy, I got point for you. I got question. Since the 2019 by-election, when at the CDC primary you lost, and all I expected you to contest as independent, you did not. Now, you gave lots of the people in 13 the hope that Andy was going to be on the ballot box. Are you not seeing this as dashing the hope of thousands of voters? Are you?
Well, we in 2018 we have one of the biggest petition to district on anti-poverty when people from zero background, people from zero organization, people from student community, from people community, from people community, and other regional organizations in the district give us the trustee petitions. So we accepted the petition and we said that we were thinking about that. In doing our plan of district community, because our time I was a full member of the coalition of democratic change, we decided to not go against the party or to go through the party primary. We were being very selfish. We were being very equal. We were being very self-thinking to say that we are anything because who knows it? Because every local person knows that to win a primary honor of different political institutions that you're waiting that young person who are not here as national government or do not have a direct contact with national government, it is not easy. But then we didn't start from the process because we believe that our leadership who are meant to see with a lot of trust, evidence, and a lot of quality. So when through the process of primary, unfortunately, the entire process was a fraud. We were defeated through that process, and then we went ahead and say, okay, since that is the case, there was just back now, and then keep getting people. So we didn't just come up one morning and say, well, we are not progressing. We had large meeting, and then that meeting is always ACAP. And then in that meeting, we're going to address every organization petitions that we receive. We did read it, and we told them that based upon the primary result, and then with our institutional fundamental rules and regulation, we will not be going to the ballot paper and will not be contesting. But don't be surprised for you to go to other time. I want to pick up political institutions that have no ANC. I already key to me on the post of time. We have 60 of the meeting before to run with me. After seeing me, we have been within by election, which I did refuse to generate with man in the everyday. So man, not contesting was not just based upon myself.
And when that decision was made, it is this year when that decision was made.
That decision was made 2018. We are still for 2018 during the election. We had the election where we got the contest and then after trying to go for that because people are giving me. So I was addressing that 2018 issue and then coming to this year's issue. We have communication with other political institutions, with the two, three political institutions in our office, and then we were able to tell them that we will not be able to go through any process of nomination in the process of fundraising program because we want to keep working. And then in recent time, we meeting ourselves where check the things that the process to valid over the team of executive leaders more than 20 persons. We were mutually agreed and voted on unfortunately will not be contested because as I said previously, we believe or we are not just executed or achieved on the 50% of our education that we provided in 2020 for our district retreat and care in the office of the district.
And we are already out of time. You got 30 seconds to make a remark to the people back home. If you have any.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks to my family. Thanks to our chairman, Honorable Jerry Gandhi Mosque. Thanks to our listeners, our people, our followers, our believers, people that believe in us, people that believe that we can be one better person when we go international leadership. We want to say that keep that trust high. Europe is not just about it is not about people that can afford. It is for people who can afford as well. Because we are changed for the train classes, we have folks that grow together. We all say that you can look into the session of honor, I think the candidates to give us support. But our people, we are finding some of the candidates, we are not some of the candidates, we can see the same only. Many people that look at the candidates come with you, and then get the second to the point back person. So the every other is point back at doing, we can also keep those support the people that are doing work, and then also the people that support, see our people, see our creators, the song, and the rest of all that are coming into.
So, Andy, we'd like to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we hope to get you on this platform anytime soon. That was the voice of the vision bearer of Andy and the foundation. Guys, we're already out of time. So, Chairman, can we just take a minute from your party statement?
Okay, thank you so much. Firstly, I want to
Before taking your party, let me just take Mohammed.
I think it would be good that
is he a guest like myself,
No,
or he's part of the presenter panel?
So just wrap up. That's wrap up our endpoint.
I think it's going to be good that the chairman speak and then I'll respond and then he wrap up.
Go ahead, Chairman.
Okay, firstly, I want to say thanks to the MAXX FM family for always, looking up to activities surrounding the district and Nigeria at large. They are actually very, very involved with all other happenings around our country. Say thank you for the program, the stage. We hope to actually appear here as soon as possible time. We are at a crossroad. The greater concerns now rest in the hands of the young people. So taking out lead initiative in terms of how we can be almost serving as a face to ensure that during these tough times, during these electionary periods, there could be no violence, there could be an opportunity for civil discussion like the one we are actually getting ourselves involved with and the rest of the others. So for our entire mobilized body out there, that is the membership base of Team Andy, we want to say hats off to all of our listeners on every platform that is by means of the social media, by means of radio. We want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to listen to us. We are always here to serve you, and service we must give you. So thanks to every other person, and we hope that anytime soon we will be here again on another edition to inform the public on the sensitive approach of the pandemic. So it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
His name is Sarah Gazi Bronski. Let's hear you. Guest presenter.
Yes, thank you, Harold. It is a privilege, and today happens to be my first debut serving as a co-host on an FM radio.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so this has not happened. So I appreciate the management and staff, and most especially you, looking in that direction to see how best you come and serve as a co-host. And we are opening up. Foca Online TV is opening up for having things like partnership, maybe having some of our guys coming here to see how they can serve as co-host or lead host to any one of the programs here. So it's my pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
And his name is Mohammed Vikana. He was here as guest presenter, as the praise, the powerful chairman. My name is Sarah. I'll talk to you when I talk to you, Baba. Chairman, I'll tell you, man.
Yeah, you know I keep running.
I know your power.
I was running. I'm gonna hit one of them.
Also, that was the appearance of
Foca TV.
So much.
Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Foca TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Foca TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Foca TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Foca TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Foca.